Hello! I am back with another fun video for you, hopefully fun. Today I am actually going to be answering a question that I get asked quite often, and that is how I manage to make time to make all the things. I am well aware that I have the luxury of working from home and I don't happen to have any kiddos running around. However, I will say as a one-woman show running her own business, I do find it difficult sometimes to find those little pockets of time to create for myself. So, case in point, I haven't finished a knitting project in months, and I usually only have time to sew on the weekends. Nevertheless, I do make time for myself to create every single day. So here are a few of my tips and hacks for finding those little pockets of time that hopefully will help you find time to create for yourself. Wake up early. I love waking up early. I mean, I am definitely a morning person, so it might not be your cup of tea. If you are a night owl, you might want to just hang out a couple of hours after everyone else goes to sleep so you can, kind of flip around your schedule, whatever works for you. But I love waking up early. I usually get up around between 6 and 7 a.m. in the mornings. Just having a few extra quiet hours in the morning to myself to work on whatever I want to work on, it really helps set the tone for the day before Dennis gets up, before I start work, and I just find that really helpful, and that is primarily when I get most of my knitting done. Tip number 2, turn off all distractions. And I love this tip so much because I am so guilty of falling down a Instagram scroll hole and getting sucked into text messages, DMs, let's be real, distractions are a total time suck. I do not look at my phone until later in the day when I'm done focusing on what I need to focus on. It's scientifically proven that it can take 20 minutes to get back into the groove of what you were initially focusing on. So yeah, this one really helps. So I'm a recovering people pleaser, and I used to feel really guilty about setting aside time for myself just for me to create. Somebody needed something, I would just stop what I was doing and put them first, but over the years, I've learned that it is okay to be selfish with your creative time. If this is something that you can also relate to, hopefully this tip will help you out. So tip number 3 is to schedule it. Block out a solid chunk of time in your planner, on your Google Calendar, your iCal, whatever you use to plan things, and guard that time like a mama bear guards her cubs. This may be hard if you have kids or a demanding job, but even if it's just 15 minutes a day, just that little chunk of time on your calendar that's just for you to make whatever you want to make, by the end of the week, all that time adds up and you will be surprised by how much you've accomplished. Seize little opportunities. I love this tip for smaller projects such as socks or knitting endless miles of stockinette. So if you're stuck on sleeve island or body island of a sweater, seizing little pockets of time like waiting in line at the DMV or waiting for a movie to start at the cinema. Or my favorite, if you are on the phone with customer service and they put you on perma hold. So much knitting to be had there. I mean, when I'm dyeing yarn, I know that I have about 5 minutes between speckle layers to bang out a couple of rows on a sock. So yeah, definitely take advantage of those little tiny opportunities. Last but not least, take a vacation. This is kind of an SOS, slam on the brakes, I really need just to make all the things type of hack. I know, as I mentioned, I have the luxury of working from home and being my own boss, so I can take off whenever I need to. However, when I did have an office job, when I, wasn't dyeing yarn full time, I worked in the city, I, worked long hours, and finding time to create was a challenge for me, I'm not gonna lie. And every couple of months or so when I felt really burnt out, I would take 2 to 3 days off every now and then just to give myself that time to craft my heart out, get it out of my system, so to speak. And I know not everyone has the luxury of taking that amount of time off, but even if it's just for a day, every other month or so, or just claiming one day out of the weekend that's just for you to make and craft your heart out. And there you have it. I hope you guys found some of these tips helpful, and if you did, let me know in the comments below which tips really resonated with you. Also, if you have some tips that you'd like to add to the list. I know I'm always looking for ways to sneak more creative time into my schedule, as I'm sure we all are. That said, I'm gonna end things there, and I'll be back next week with a July favorites episode, so definitely come back for that. And if you're new here and you haven't already, feel free to like and subscribe down below. And if you'd like to support this channel, head on over to my Patreon page where you can score some bonus content and join the chatter that is happening around the Voolenvine YouTube community. And I will see you on the next video. Bye!